Hello, one and all, on this great and beautiful Thursday afternoon. I'm just getting something up here that I want to show you. Gotta figure out where I downloaded something to. Hey, Bob, how are you today? I got some fan art by somebody, and it's pretty good. Um, but my computer wants to be slower than me. There we go. Sorry about not getting on last night to do the parasite character. When I do one, what'd you say? I'll share when I'm going to do stuff, Mother. Turn me down. Right now I'm. Cross. Come. Oh, it's under there. Okay. I know where it is on my hard drive, so. Oh, I see. Doctor Strange. I'm going to get this up on my. I got to put this in a couple places. Okay, so as soon as it comes up, then I will share. I need to do. Okay, probably a few different ways you can do that. I'd have to relook at it. I'm not sure what it looks like offhand. Maybe we'll look it up in a bit. Okay, put that down. Okay, I'm gonna put that down right there. Thing I want down is down. Okay, I can come up. Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay, well, I'll have to get an image, um, of the stuff to maybe possibly give you an idea. So you were saying, have you got any reference brung up to look at it? Okay, so hide. So here is the fan art. Not exactly sure who that's supposed to be in the background, but might supposed to be Satan. But you can see the Canadian shield. Like I said, it's incredible. The Canadian shield's probably not as bulky as he should be, and doesn't have the maple leaf on the back, but he would not necessarily know that. Insecto's stuff should be orange and yellow there. Um, that mask thing, part mask thing, cybernetic thing, mask should be gray, but there's only minor things like that that I can pick apart, but it's like awesome otherwise. And the wings might be too big on Insecto, but for the most part. Oh, and Ozona's leg boots, whatever, don't come up high enough. But other than stuff like that, it's awesome. Okay, so it's a good, yeah, definitely a good job. So you know what? We'll deal with this first and come back to scripture. Maybe the wrong way to do it, but unshare for a minute. When I get back to scripture and all that, I will. Okay, so I'm going to share again and see whether this is what you mean, Bob. Hello to whomever's come in. Oh, we're on both on the computer and so hide. Oh, no. One thing. So is this what you're meaning there? That sort of circle, but you want it on like a wall? Well, as you can see, it's like once. Give me a second here. There's stuff out with. You need it on the wall with a metal hand, a metal like hand. Okay, so put that down for now. Okay. Oh, you sent it to me? Okay, let me stop sharing. Facebook, I take it. Okay. Save image. Okay, so you want a hand being able to turn. Oh, if well, I was gonna say for this, do you want? I think I got everything here. Right. No. So basically, see. Okay. So you basically want the image on the wall, sort of like that. You want to just put a circle around it, or that way you. Well, you don't necessarily need a circle around it to show that it's able to move, but and then you have the hand, crude hand. I'm just drawing the finger lines. I need a natural look. I think you're seeing. You're not even seeing much there. So okay, I'm gonna scrap that and put a piece of cardboard underneath so it doesn't. So here'd be your hand. Obviously, you want to be able to turn it. You'd have to draw a lot better than this. This is crappy, I know. But then there's this circle on the wall. That's just one way of doing it. The idea is from FMA, the protagonist. Yeah. The circle should be like compressed. Indent it into the stone or whatever it is, into the wall. No. I'm looking up this right now. Now whether I'll picture. I'll get on Facebook. Um, just trying to think of another angle for that. So you're wanting the circle bigger? I know. Other angle could be this. Oh. Okay. Okay, that's looking bigger than what I was doing before. Did you send a second picture? It's an eclipse. Okay, so eclipse, yeah. Oh, not eclipse. Actually, you could have the thing in the back there. Other than that, can you? How well can you see that? I've got this stone wall here in the background, and then it's coming out, sort of like the illusion type thing coming out from the wall. Not an eclipse. Eclipse, not a. So you're wanting to block it out? Let's see what you've written. I know the drawing sucks, but yeah, so ellipse. Okay, I've seen the for Doctor Strange or for the one you sent me. Okay, so you don't want it flat on the wall, you want it shining off from the wall? Hey, Chad. Okay. 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 Yeah, I got the one where you don't want it so looks like you don't want it so flat on the wall or a straight on shot. A lot of times it's shading that will make it look less three-dimensional. Oh, awesome. I wasn't there to compete, so but awesome. Is that looking a little bit more like oh, sorry to hear that, Chad. What happened? Oh, you're talking about that. What the? Oh, figures. Okay. We'll try later, maybe if you want. Um, my one tablet just went down, so I've got to change tablets. Oh, thank you. That's the cover for basically the cover for the first issue. Oh, Brad, you did not get to see this yet. Although rewatching you would, but I got sent some fan art from somebody on Facebook, and anybody that wants to send me fan art's welcome to too. But right there, not sure who it's supposed to be in the background, but still awesome as far as I'm concerned. X-Men. Okay. Tender. Oh, my Rogue. Rogue. Yeah, I did that on Pixels Trader for fan edition of Drawn and Quartered. Oh yeah. Okay, so we are in Hebrews chapter 6. I'm just going to read from 13 to 20. Comment the best I can. Okay, when God made his promise to Abraham, since there was no one greater for him to swear by, he swore by himself, saying, I will surely bless you and give you many descendants. And so, after waiting patiently, Abraham received what was promised. People swear by someone greater than themselves, and the oath confirms what is said and puts an end to all arguments. A guy named John Dillard won. Me, Pixel came in like third. Me and two other people came in second. Okay, anyways, and the oath confirms what is said and puts an end to all argument. Because God wanted to make an unchanging nature purpose of his purpose very clear to heirs of what was promised, he confirmed it with an oath. God did this so that by two unchangeable things, in which is it is impossible for God to lie. We who have fled to take hold of the hope. Yes, he does. Um, we who have fled to take hold of the hope set before us may be greatly encouraged. We have this hope as an anchor for our soul, firm and secure. It enters the inner sanctuary behind the curtain, where our forerunner Jesus has entered on our behalf. He has become a high priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. Melchizedek was somebody that Abraham met back in Genesis. One day we may get into that. One day we may not. Um, but God promises stuff. When God promises you, you can be sure He delivers. I guess that's the best I can say for maybe not the best, but you know, I think that's what all I can think of saying at the moment with that. And I guess with that, it's on to drawing. This is a character I have named Feathers. She is a heroine. I know very little about her. I believe she can fly. That's about probably about it. Like I said, I've got lots of characters that I haven't done with stuff with, and then I've got lots of characters I have. Well, I'm glad you and I'm also glad that you liked my rogue. Okay, where did I put my? Oh, there it is.
I'm going downstairs.
Abraham is the father, for lack of a better way of saying it, of the Jewish nation. Um, he comes after the flood, after the Tower of Babel. God selects him because of his faith and basically says, out of you I will make a great nation, and you're, you're the people, your descendants will be like almost uncountable. Um, you see him in, I think, like, um, well, obviously in Genesis, it's out of him that, like I said, the Israeli nation was born. Um, he's in Genesis probably 7 or 8 and then for about 5 or 6 chapters. Okay, so not that underneath. What else can I say about Abraham? He was first. God changed his name from Abram to Abraham. If I can answer, or I'll do my best to answer. I will. I'm sure questions usually come out of left field or right field. I don't know where. They're good ones, mind you. Good. So, like I said, also, I didn't get to my anime last night, so I will be doing it hopefully tonight. I'll do it tonight when I do Marvel. Okay. What race or color were they? Well, we can't be 100% sure. Race, what race were they? Human. There is only one human. Yes, we come in multiple of colors, and there's a scientific reason for that, for some melatonin or something like that in your system determines that from what I've heard. Um, that, like I said, black people is all due to melatonin or some sort of chemical in the body which determines to your skin, from what I understand. I have the name wrong for the chemical or whatever it is. That I can tell you for sure. I just know there's some. But if we all came from two humans, there's technically only one race, and that would be human. And technically, whether you believe in evolution or not, again, there would only be one race because we would have come from whoever evolved, the two humans that evolved. So there's only one race, human. We come in a variety of colors, just like there's dogs and they come in a variety of colors too. We wouldn't consider them any less of a dog, or I know you might say they're different species of dog, but they're still a dog or a cat for a cat. Okay, yes. Well, like I said, I don't know what color the first two are white. My mom has proposed I would, I'm not sure whether I'd call it a theory or a hypothesis at best. She's never did any research on it, and she obviously couldn't. Her idea was that her possible idea is, and it seems plausible, since Adam was made out of soil, the soil, like topsoil or whatever you want to call it, that is usually fairly black. So she says he might have been black, where Eve was made out of bone. Bones are basically white. And she was made from his bone. So she was probably white looking. And how at least one needs to be, yeah, black. Very possible. Um, but if that chemical is in the system, whatever it's called, and there you don't have a lot of, well, you would have a lot of sunlight, but if you don't have it to the degree, say, that you would have in Africa, then it might not be there or black, if that's the decision. deciding factor. Like I can't say for sure. I'm not no scientist. Um, the Bible doesn't usually tell what color a person is, so I would say yes because Ethiopians, as you know, are usually somewhat black, and there are Ethiopians mentioned in the Bible. Um, you know, the Bible, a lot of it is in the Arab countries or the Middle Eastern countries. They are more olive, say white people. So sometimes even to the point of black, I think. I can't say for sure. I'm not caught up on all that. Uh, I think back then they didn't care so much about your color. They cared more about your nationality for countries, what country you were from. From what I can glean from the Bible, I could be wrong. They didn't care about skin color. They just like, you're from this country. You live, you'll die. But I presume there were black people in the Bible. The writers don't distinguish that way. So sometimes, unless they're distinguishing in that fashion, you can't know. They're just if the only way you might know is if you know the history of a region of whether those people were quote unquote black or not when they talk about a particular region. Actually, there's been parents who have black parents, from what I've heard, and this is in recent years. They've had a white baby and a black baby. Okay, okay. You know how pigmentation works. Okay. But I'm saying the color. Yeah, that I agree that they used to pass it on with DNA nowadays, but how it could have originated is could be because of the pigmentation stuff. Um, they could have got the probably it's because of previous ancestry. I can only guess. Like I said, I've done minor. Well, I wouldn't say study. I'm not sure what I'd say. What I'd call it. I've listened to some videos there. If you want to consider that study or research or whatever, I per I, if it's study or research, it's minor. Listening to a few videos of people who've actually done major stuff. Yeah, you can't have. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Humanity comes from Africa. This um, science tells us. Well, and show them to be what us like white. Um, I'm not. Well, if you go with the Garden of Eden, nobody knows where that is for sure or where it was for sure. So I don't know where it would have been, whether it would have been in Africa or not. That may or may not be true. I can't say one way or another. As for them being white, they probably ended up being a variety of different colors, because even if you go back to Adam and Eve, you have to, we are all human from them. You then have to go forward and get what you can from Noah and his family. Now, Noah had three sons, and then they married three women before the flood came. So, whatever diversity, so you have Noah and his wife, their diversity, whatever that may or may not have been, before the flood. And then you also have their sons, which would be their genetics to them. And then you have the wives, whatever their genetics would be from their parents before them. But ultimately, that would come back to Adam and Eve. But you could have got some genetics from, or taken away some genetics from the other people that were there. Although, because if you get just like in, okay, yeah, but if you say it wanted to evolve, then that's a reason to treat black people like less humans, and they're not less human than you or me. That's why the Bible says we're all equal. Nobody's more evolved or less evolved than anybody else. I'd say no. It doesn't say one way or the other, but yeah, a white person making a movie about it is probably going to show them white. That, I think, is, I can't, oh, how do I say it? I think it's a misinterpretation, but it's what people do, unfortunately. The Bible doesn't say a color, so we're probably somewhere in between black and white, I would say. A more mulatto color. Yeah, but we have adaption. God gave everything adaption. Otherwise you wouldn't have microevolution, as it's called. D- Diversity in a type of animal, ending in, as most people would call today, speciation, or you know what I mean, I think. Specification. No, Jesus was Jewish, thus he would have been most likely olive skinned. Jesus was from the Middle East, he would have looked like a Middle East person. Do lots of people portray him as white? Yes. And that is a wrong portrayal. God isn't white. God isn't black. God is spirit. The if you go by what the Bible says, the closest thing he has to a body is what the personification he had in Christ, because it is said that Jesus is supposed to be God made flesh. Can God create a God? Hmm. As in an all-knowing, all-powerful being who can be everywhere at every time. Um, maybe. Yes, he created the universe, but the universe isn't sentient. The universe isn't all-knowing. The universe just is made up of everything in it. You don't need more than one person sticking their nose in, Mom. I'm not sure how good I'm doing.
I was just gonna say probably brown.
He can have god brothers or sons. Um, I wouldn't say brothers because God Himself says He's the only God. So, and if He doesn't lie, then you have to take Him at His word. I don't know whether He could kill Himself or erase Himself from existence. But if he did, would you? If he could, would you want him to? Because if God is holding the universe together, you don't really want him killing himself. If it came together under his power and he's holding it together, you wouldn't want him committing. Yeah, all powerful. I'm not sure exactly what you're meaning towards that. Probably something I said, but I'm not sure exactly what, since we're a few seconds separated. Uh, did he? All powerful, did he? Did he what? Well, probably not literally, but how do I put it? I'm not sure how to put it. How about I put it this way? If he suddenly killed himself off, I'm sure things would fall apart a lot faster than the universe. And yes, I could be wrong about that. The sun is exploding. No, God is not dead. He set some things in motion, and then we set things. Adam and Eve set things in motion when they sinned. All of creation was affected by their sin. It says that right at the beginning. It says that as soon as they fell, yeah, we are in a pretty bad situation, but that is because of man's sin, man's inhumanity to man. No, I wouldn't say God's dead. I'd just say humans are morons. Can God replace himself? Um, I don't think so. Well, I guess it might. Well, he's not going to have anybody replace him. So, some things aren't. I don't think a question of could he. I think some things are a question of would he. We, we can't control where the planet goes. True. In the fact that we can't put a rocket and make it go somewhere. But Jesus is God. They're three and one. The Bible states that quite clearly. Well, and would he? Cannot. Did he rather than would he? Oh, I think you're referring to my statement of the fact that the question isn't not whether he can, it's a question of whether he could. Or it's not a question of whether he can, it's a question of whether he would. It's all about what is in God's nature. And that's where you have to go, really, I think. What is in God's nature to do? He can do a lot of stuff, but would he do a lot of stuff? It's just like you or me. It's things that, whether they're in our nature to do or not, as people, of how we've been brought up and so forth. Not as a sentient being, as some would like to proclaim. Maybe in the fact that their God has put forth a way of things to do on how the earth is to behave, for lack of a better word. You asking me or Bob, Chad? My answer would he can blow up planets. He can blow up planets in the snap of a finger if he wanted to. But would he for no reason? Probably not. Not to what I can glean from scripture. One has to, like I said, you have to determine what you believe the nature of God is. And well, different, yes, there's different religions, and the nature of their gods are different than each one has a different nature for their gods, god or gods. I think I answered the question. You can tell me if you don't think I did. Um, Chat. Do I think God is powerful though? Actually, I don't think God is powerful similar to Superman. Superman is weak in comparison to God. Superman doesn't even begin to scratch God's powers. Now, as many have said, he is godlike, but not. He has some godlike powers for sure. Almost indefinable strength. Screw that. God versus Superman. Bye bye, Superman. The fight lasts exactly a quarter of a second. Oh, sorry, a tenth of a second. Oh, we've lost somebody. Oh, maybe Bob had to go. Or I don't know. Somebody had to go. Maybe my mom went. Yeah. What color vise are they gonna give her? Anybody got any ideas what color vise they should give her? I don't think it's been set in stone yet, so. Do, 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 do. Okay, nobody's speaking up, so silver like Goku. Okay, I guess that would be need to go grayscale-ish. You know what? Let's swatches. Meta.
How you doing?
Good.
Are you on live stream?
Yeah.
It's hard to tell if you're on it. Oh, did you run across that hoodie yet?
No. So we will take out the bottom layer.
Well, can I use your phone? Your phone still don't work downstairs. I called and their landlord looked at me. The landlord's, I don't know, super wife. I said, who you looking for? She says. I said,
Okay. One sec. Okay, Bob. We'll catch you later. Okay.
she asked me, who are you looking for? I'm looking for going up to 602.
Yeah. I could have just said Linda.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe
Rick.
I did say Linda, but she said their buzzer does not work.
Yeah. I don't know why.
When you first moved in, it was always good.
Well,
Now
it was when we finally got a thing going. We got to get it checked out again. There might be something on our line, and I'm not sure whether it's on their end or what.
uh,
We need to make sure it's not on our end first.
not the super doing it, eh?
Well, it's not them doing it. It might be the system.
Yeah.
Something wrong in the
Downstairs.
system
Yeah.
that they have no control over.
Maybe I'll take a hammer to it. You think that would help?
No,
Why?
because you'd just be destroying everybody else's method of communication.
Unless you're a transformer.
Yeah.
I watched 2 seasons.
Ah.
One season.
Cool.
It's a cartoon one.
Yeah. The original G1. Okay. Okay, I'm probably going to watch Death of Superman movie today, the new 52 version. Yeah, that's pretty good, Bob. I mean, Chad, I've seen it already, and it's really good. It really goes along with the actual original stuff, or very close to it. And then, of course, okay. Can you see me now, Bob? Okay. Sorry about that. Something went wonky with the internet. What?
I was wondering whether you were over or what, because
No.
the line on my TV.
Yeah.
I was about to go to bed because I didn't get to sleep till 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
I turned this one on.
I hope.
Just where I left it.
Except for the fact that it hit a button.
Well,
You might have to go back. We tried to restart it. Sort of. But they're not interactive. Yeah, technical difficulties. You gotta love them. Okay, so I'm not sure where I lost you, Chad. What was the last thing you saw before my screen went blank? Oh yeah. Okay, anyways, I'll say it again. This is my character, Cheer. I think his name is Cheer. He's the angel of present Superman movie. Oh, okay. Well, I got finished feathers, as you can see by a new person here. Um, yeah, I like the Superman movie. I saw it. It reminded me a lot of the original comics from the 90s. It quite didn't incorporate everything from the 90s because the Justice League was different then. And they were obviously the first responders. But I shouldn't say too much more. I don't want to give anything away. Although the title sort of gives it away, right? But anyways, this is the Angel of Present. If you remember, I did a few month while back. I said about my various types of angels. Is Doomsday stronger than Darkseid? Hmm. Yes and no. And where I say that is, in a lot of ways, Doomsday might be weaker, but the thing with Doomsday, you can only kill him a certain way once. You know, he might have a certain amount of only a certain amount of strength, and maybe Darkseid has more physical strength. But if you've killed Doom, I'm sure Doomsday's been killed by brute force before. You can't kill him with just brute force, pounding on him. So, and he never tires. So, not that a fight between him and Darkseid could last uh, years, probably. Because there's a comic called Superman Doomsday. I think that's what it's called, where they basically reveal his origin, and he is a Kryptonian being, but a Kryptonian scientist went and took this baby and got it killed, cloned it, brought it back to life, and after so many, he did kept doing this, or I think it's cloned. Somehow he did bring it back to life, reconstructed it or whatever, and eventually it became immune to whichever way it was killed. That's, I think, the best way to describe it, if I remember right. It's a three-issue graphic novel. Graphic novel. Well, it's bigger than a regular thing, so I think it's three 48-page ones that explain it, called Superman Doomsday or Doomsday Superman. Probably explained it a lot better than I did. And I think they do it in the movie too that you're going to watch. Could be wrong. I forget for sure. Just because some scientists wanted to create, like a super soldier, for lack of a better way of saying it, if I remember correctly. Or some scientists just wanted to see whether he could. One of those two reasons. Or see whether he could do that whole evolution thing of the Kryptonian species. I forget exactly. When we get 1,000 subscribers, if you don't have it before, don't get to read it before then. When we get it, shortly after we get 1,000 subscribers, and I find it, I'll go through it with you. Was Zod involved in the creation of Doomsday? No, this was before Zod was ever even born. Before Doomsday got to Earth, he had been killed so many different times. Uh, you know, Probably a couple dozen times at least, from what I get in the comic version. I don't know what. I don't know whether he can or not for sure. I forget, but I think it's more if uh, Krypton was allowed to exist, maybe at some point in their evolution. For those who believe in evolution, they would have turned into that type of creature. But of course, we know Krypton went belly up. And that's if I'm remembering stuff correctly, too. You got to remember, it's been 20 years since I've read that comic, or those comics, since it was a set of three. Actually, probably longer than 20 years, probably close to 30. Yeah, so when I hit 1,000 subs, although that's quite a ways off, I need to hit 100 subs first. I need to start getting back into various chat rooms. It was easy to do all that, go into different chat rooms during the summer. And now that real life has come again. You're back. Ah. Not for long. He's back. Not for long, but he's back. Glad to have you back, Bob. Was Green Lantern involved in fighting Doomsday? Yes, at first. It was Guy Gunder, actually, to be more specific. Because he was part of the Justice League at that time for the comic books. However, Hal got back to Earth and found Coast City destroyed. Well, that was in the aftermath, so. Um, that was probably back before my time. So I'm not completely sure. I think I've heard that myself. Or they created powers for him as they need it. So they created a whole bunch of funky dunky powers. We're talking pre 1985. I got really involved in comics before after 1985, which is Crisis of the Infinite Earths, although I've never read that storyline in its entirety. I've wanted to for quite some time, but getting hold of the comic books can be somewhat hard, whether digitally or non-digitally. Then I was doing earlier, yeah, this if you ever seen Charles Dick, I'm not sure whether you've been around to hear me say uh, uh talk about this, but you probably have heard of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Well, in it, how there's the ghost of Christmas, past, present, and future. I took the idea, and since ghosts are supposed to be probably angels or demons, I took the idea and I made myself a demon trio and an angelic trio of it. This is one of the angelic trio. He is the angel of present. So that way I could use these guys for more than just Christmas, or whatever. I could use them for any time of year if I wanted to do a storyline involving that type of thing. With past, present, and future, you take the character through their past, present version of birthdays, Easter, Thanksgiving, Hanukkah. Well, that's nice. Wait till I get into some of the other characters that I've got more details on. Maybe you'll still like him as much or the best. But he's probably the one you like the best because I've done the most for as far as you know. He's the one, except for maybe the Canadian Shield, that I've done a lot of stuff into. Put a bunch of information into. Yeah, not complete. Yeah. Monday, I should be doing my character Sunset. God, God. Um, Not so much. Some of these drawings you see me doing here, in fact, most of them are older drawings or drawings that I have not taken my time with. So, one thing I've learned a lot through watching the various pro artists on these channels. Yeah, sometimes I even get confused about hands, but one thing I've learned about is take your time. I've been one to rush. I can create some really good stuff or half decent stuff even when going fast. But if you take your time, you get much better stuff. And then I'm doing it digitally here too, which I'm taking even less time. I'm much better on paper, as you notice. But that's because I've only been doing this digital stuff like this for like 3 months, 4 months. And I'm only copying stuff. Like I could take you to one of my things where I took my time digitally and I did a lot better job. The first one with the flower. Delve into it, so I probably didn't notice. I looked at it. I looked. That's all good. I wasn't trying to do a big review on you. Get too critical. The overview obviously looks good. Yeah, inking always seems to make things much better than pencils. Unless you're a very superb pencilist. Yeah. Oh, I even forgot to put a mouth on this one. And then it's also the fact that after I get this colored, I'll show you something on my YouTube. Yeah, I've done pen before too. Straight pen. Usually it's when I don't have a pencil. Also, the other thing with me doing this stuff that you see on, especially this stuff here that I do on the my noon hour show. Well, noon my time. Is I try and sometimes add a little bit more detail, but I don't always, depending on the mood I'm in, I don't always add a lot of extra detail, just enough better. And like I've even got these cuffs different. I'm just noticing that now. There are two different types of cuffs on the guy, and I don't know why I did that. Okay, catch you later, Bob. Yeah. Try and catch the end of the video, and I'm gonna go into my YouTube and show a bit of a video where I was drawing something digitally that I had to draw digitally without tracing it. So if you're still here, Cool. I just have a cheap phone. A really cheap phone. I've had it for years, actually. Maybe after this, in a few seconds, I will show. We've got all the colors. Delete. Making sure I got everything done here. I think mine's LG. I'm with Chatter, which is part of Fido or Rogers. It's a pay-as-you-go company. I pay like $35 a month plus taxes, and I get unlimited calling all over Canada and unlimited texting to all over Canada and texting to the States. So it's not too bad. So there is the Angel of Present, who I think is called Cheer. I've got his actual name somewhere. I'd have to check it to be sure, but so I'm just gonna save him as Angel of Present at present. And I'll change his name later. Okay, let's see. Use my channel. Oh, that's cool. I've heard there's a $40 plan for my area, and you can also get, which is $5 more, and you can get unlimited internet. New champions. Trick by Pierre. So this is a time lapse one. Not sure whether you can hear anything. Warming up in this area. And I had to draw another character in like this with nothing in the back to copy off of. So as you can see, I do a lot of mistakes and end up taking a little bit more time to get things right. When I did this originally, it was like for everything, like close to I think 4 hours or something like that, 2 or 3 hours at least. I sped it up and bring it down. I think this is sped up. I'm not sure. This doesn't seem sped up too much. Both parts of it are. Didn't like that hand. I'm not going to like that hand, that's for sure either. That is just one ugly hand. Another hand that I know I'm not gonna like. This is torture watching myself do this. Can I keep that hand? I hope not. Hey Jojo! I'm just showing some old video stuff that I've done digitally of characters. This is a video of mine called The New Champions. It's a bunch of, I have a whole bunch of characters called in a group called The New Champions. And I'm just showing one. I did this one without any background, as you can probably see, not tracing over it. So, how was school for you today, Jojo? Well, that's good. Sleep is a nice thing. Guess I'm keeping those hands. Now it's time for the wings. Wing a ding. Okay, we'll catch you later, Jojo. Have a great sleep. Not too bad for having nothing underneath, eh, Dad? To draw from. Oh yeah. I'll check. I'll try and check that out this afternoon before I get on tonight. I'm gonna do my anime stuff that I was supposed to do last night. Tonight, I did. If you didn't notice, I did not do it last night. I was just too tired when I got in. So I do that. Hey, Jonah Jameson. You know what? That's what I can do right now. Me and you were watching this. Okay, so let's see. October. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thirteen, 14. Hmm. Okay, so DC. Scare. Crow. Joker. Okay, what that hey, what other DC villains that you can think of maybe that are not Batman oriented that might be good for October? Lobo? Yeah, maybe. Although I was thinking more villains than heroes. Lobo can be both, I guess. Sinestro? Yeah. Let's see, Sinestro. Villains. Trying to think of a Superman one or a Flash one. Okay, well, Raven's dad. Oh yeah, that's even a good one. Raven for a hero. Um, Brother Blood. Trigon. Okay, the Goblin. Doing Marvel now, Ghost Rider. Blade. Well, who else were we thinking about for Marvel? Villain for Marvel. Dormato. And there's another one. Doctor Strange for a hero. Spidey. We got the goblins. Oh, what's his name? The helmet with the pumpkin head. Yeah, I put goblin or goblins. One of the goblins: Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, Demon Goblin. There's a Spider-Man villain with a pumpkin for a head. Forget who he is though. Yeah. Oh, Venom. Yeah, I'm already doing Venom next week, so he's obvious. Um, uh, oh, Mysterio. Why do all villains for this sort of thing revolve around like a couple characters for each? So we got anime. We'll wait for Bob for anime. Then we got sci-fi. And indie. Oh, I think a good one for indie for a hero would be Spawn. Yeah, that's good for now. At least I got some stuff down. I need a sci-fi one. Oh, Hellboy, yeah. Hellboy would be good for independent. Oh, that's done. Yeah, so it's like almost 2:30. Been at this about 2.5 hours. Got to see a bit of one of my other videos. Color. If you want, you can go check that out. There's, like I said, that's like about an hour video, just over an hour. We going over all of them. So I guess I will sign off for now. I'm gonna try and be on by 7, 8 tonight Eastern Standard Time. Doing the anime character from Parasite Maximum, and then I will be doing J. Jonah Jameson as per your request, Chad. So remember to hit that thumbs up button. People like this video. You know you do. You've gotten this far. And if you have a request for Scaretoba for the live drawings, please hit it in the comment section below. Um, Remember to share, subscribe if you're yet to be subscribed, hit the notification. That way you know when I'm putting up stuff, going live, all that sort of lovely stuff. Comment, check out the links in the description. They're for my Twitter, Instagram, and my web stuff for Facebook, and also my website. Uh, Not sure what else to say. Have a great and wonderful day. See you guys in a few hours. God bless.